Guys, the day has finally arrived. I kind of feel like I'd rather just obliterate the whole planet. Well everyone, he has done it. Kinda. With just one hand, Saitama has destroyed one of Jupiter's moons. Specifically the moon named Io. Placed on top of North America, it scales like this.
Damn!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Saitama is finally showing us his true power, as he admits it himself. One Punch Man chapter 167 was absolute fire! But wait, there's more. Saitama is now confirmed to also be one with the flow of the universe's energy, just like Blast and Garou. He is a being that can manipulate the reality of the cosmos, just as Blast mentioned in chapter 166. So surely there's no way Garou can survive this, right?
Wrong!
For the first time ever, Saitama has taken actual damage and is bleeding.
I have to break your neck. It's just the way it is.
Chapter 167 begins with Blast matching the speed of Saitama and Cosmic Garou. Even with Saitama throwing a killer move series punch, Blast was able to react in time to teleport all of them away. The two fists clash in space and create a shockwave so powerful that Blast gets sent flying. And if it wasn't for the help of his friends, the Avengers, who knows how far he would have been sent away, and the Earth would have been blown up completely. Humanity would have ended in a single punch, just as Saitama mentioned he would in chapter 161. Blast's team combined together to alter the vector and direction of the attack away from Earth for safety. Saitama and Garou's galactic scrap continues as a huge gamma ray burst is fired off, which is when we see God on the moon watching on.
Bruh.
Yes, a lot of you may have missed this, but we can see God's spine on the moon being exposed. Now, those of you who have the notification bell on for the channel, you would know that our theory is coming completely true. And since we're all on the same page, our community believes that this celestial being named God was likely being punished and sent to a lifeless, lonely planet in the past so that nobody can interfere, that being Earth, billions of years ago. And ever since he was sealed away on the moon, he has been seeking an escape from his prison. In the webcomic, we know this is true because Adam and Eve were manipulated by this supposed god in a snake-like form that looks like Orochi. He's the one that has manipulated life on Earth from the very start to unseal himself, watching down on planet Earth, manipulating the events by creating life and subsequently monsters, leading up to a world where power dominates over all, so that he could one day find an avatar worthy of sacrifice to set him free. This is why he tried to coerce both Tatsumaki and Garou into falling for his offer. In the present, Blast mentioned in chapter 164 to his team, the Avengers, that God was almost unsealed because of Garou's attack on Earth. That chapter was redrawn, but it exposed the intentions of the story. According to Blast, the mysterious cubes act as a transmitter that distorts space and allow for communication with God. In chapter 138, he states God's voice begins to speak in their heads, that if they touch the cube and make a wish, the being will either grant them power or they will be confiscated. Now, the fact that Saitama was casually holding this cube and he throws it away, it only foreshadowed the fact that he is limitless and can manipulate the reality of the cosmos. He's the one and only person capable of facing this celestial god, as he is unaffected by anything it would try to do on Earth. Yes, Saitama is built different. Moving back to chapter 167, we see the two serious punches, aka series punch squared, creating a gaping hole in space. The impact destroyed multiple stars, and to even try and fathom how much power that requires to achieve, it would melt your brain. The recoil from Saitama and Garou's attacks send them flying from Earth to the moon of Jupiter. To put this into perspective, Jupiter is approximately 709 million kilometers away from us. The first spacecraft to reach Jupiter was NASA's NASA's Pioneer 10, completing its journey in 640 days, just under 2 years. But here we see in this chapter, Saitama and Garou have done that in a split second? Can you even fathom how fast they were traveling?
Nope.
Well, don't worry, we will quantify this in our next One Punch Man video. So smash the like button to support us and we will definitely post that. Garou then looks up and sees Saitama, who has the high ground.
I have the high ground! You underestimate.
But more importantly, we see the surface of Jupiter behind him. Saitama then gets a feeling of deja vu of space since he's been there before against Boros. But he doesn't care. He can finally let loose and use his full power at 100% against someone that wouldn't die immediately. Saitama's speech yet again highlights how disconnected he is from reality due to his immense power. And Garou notices this as he wonders if Saitama is even human due to being so unfazed. We mentioned Saitama's wish previously, as he has been dreaming about it since chapter 1. A fight that brings him excitement since he wants to feel human again. He requires a challenge so that he can surpass it and struggle towards a goal like any other human does and would. But Saitama laments, he's sad that although his dream has finally come true from chapter 1 against Cosmic Garou, it isn't at all meeting his requirements. And this is because his best friend, guys, Genos, is dead. Goodbye, goodbye, say goodbye to my friends, goodbye, 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 goodbye. We see you tomorrow if you are alive.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there, Adil, because Genos isn't actually dead. Or at least, he's not gonna be forever anyway. From what we know, the only part of Genos that isn't mechanicalized is in fact his brain, as we see here. But we can see in chapter 166 that he lost half his head, thus half his brain. However, I think it is plausible that Dr. Kuseno will be able to build a new body and implant the core and remains of his brains into that new cyborg. That, of course, however, doesn't solve the fact that he's missing half a brain, and honestly, yeah, that's not an easy fix. But we know that cyborgs can live on even with brain damage, as we learn from Genos' retelling of his backstory. He said that one day a crazy cyborg attacked our town all of a sudden. He had completely lost his mind. I guess his brain had been damaged during its transplantation into his cyborg body. We theorize that Genos will survive but will be prone to malfunctions. In chapter 140 of the webcomic, Saitama and Dr. Kuseno meet to discuss Genos. The doctor says how Saitama is worried that Genos may turn into a vengeful demon and or break immediately. Now, although the context is slightly different as this relates to Genos, who is about to go and finally face the crazy cyborg that killed his family, it can be easily twisted to also fit into the context of the recent manga chapters. The key to stop Genos breaking, however, is Saitama. Dr. Kuseno states that the reason Genos hasn't lost his humanity despite being in battles every day is due in part to the influence of Saitama. Therefore, even after losing half of his brain, it'll be the man Genos simps so hard for Saitama that will stop him from becoming like the evil cyborg that killed his family. Thus linking to chapter 166, where Saitama remembers Genos and questions himself if he truly has a hero's intuition and does he really help those in need. Saitama realizes that he needs to hold on to Genos' core, but he is handicapped as if his costume is torn apart, he will lose the core, meaning he has to hold it in his hand. Garou tells Saitama that they need to figure a way out back to Earth, but Saitama tells him to shut your Saitama states that can come after I beat the shit out of you, bring it on. One hand is all I need. As the battle progresses on, Garou initiates the fight by taking a page out of Blast's book and gives it his own twist. He directly opens a portal right below Saitama to throw him off and then attack. But before Garou can even teleport Saitama, the portal literally flies away with one casual kick. A portal isn't supposed to just be movable by someone, let alone through sheer force. Saitama has continuously shown just how limitless he is in the chapter and will know no doubt keep doing so. Firstly, when Saitama went to outer space after Boros attacked him, we saw him holding his breath, clearly indicating that he's not able to breathe whilst in space. However, Saitama doesn't give a single damn about that anymore. Io is an extremely volcanic moon, and the atmosphere is severely poisonous to humans. However, as we've learned after Garrou's gamma ray burst, these guys are just built different and they don't let poison bother them. Also, because Saitama may have believed that he wouldn't truly be able to breathe when in space beforehand, it doesn't mean that he's not able to. Right now, after Genos' death, he has no intention to stop until he erases Garrou's existence, so my man's just not even worried about if he can breathe or not. Saitama then steps in and lands a massive punch on Garou, sending him flying through the atmosphere as if it's nothing. If you remember the moments when any higher ranked hero saw Saitama's true strength, all of them made a similar comment, that Saitama lacked fighting skills. Saitama never used any sort of form, he just kind of throws a punch. The first to point this out was the rank 3 S-class hero Silverfang, who wanted to take in Saitama as his disciple and the successor of the dojo. In the webcomic, both Flashy Flash and My Mask pointed this out too. Even during the time that they worked with Saitama to train him, this remained to be their key point. Right now though, Saitama is using perfect form to attack Garou. It's just mwah. But we also have to give Cosmic Garou some props for his defense. Every single hero or monster that has even dared to take on a serious punch has literally shat their pants with the death symbol creeping up on them, or they just die. This punch though is the definition of a right straight. We need to remember that Saitama trained for years when he was a human and must have learned how to do a perfect punch or two. He's admitted that he will try and go full power now in this chapter, and my God, is it showing. But since Garou is that guy, he instantly uses the portal to teleport behind Saitama and attack. However, Saitama knew this was coming. With just one hand, he grabbed the portal, changed its position, throwing Garou off his balance instead and landing a massive hit, pummeling the hero hunter into the ground. Saitama then states, "Forget your little tricks and come at me with your fists. Is that what you call ultimate martial arts?" Cosmic Garou explains that he has absorbed all of the countless techniques and combined them with perfect synergy, which is when he combines Blast's portal teleportation with his nuclear fission gravity fists to launch the ultimate clobber attack. He teleports between different portals, hitting Saitama. Saitama then throws a punch of his own, which the hero hunter dodges. Cosmic Garou continues to dodge a few more punches and lands a couple more big hits, sending Saitama flying and, most importantly, shredding his clothes.
Yeah. Bro, if I was a girl, legs wide open, bro.
This is then followed by a nuclear fission gravity knuckles attack, causing a massive explosion that covers an entire segment of Io. As the clouds clear, we see Saitama naked.
So true.
Do you understand how big of a deal it is to even tear a single part of Saitama's clothes? Well, now they're gone. Now, I know that Saitama's got that Greek god Jim Goal's body, but what he's about to do here is far more impressive. He digs 4 of his fingertips into the ground and does a killer move, Serious Series table flip, and uproots the moon's crust. But this man wasn't just throwing a huge chunk of space rock with 4 fingertips, he literally obliterated the entire moon. But he's not done yet. Whereas Garou can't even tell which way is up, Saitama yeets onto the rocks and debris scattered all around to use as footing, pummeling Garou relentlessly, eventually crescendoing into a barrage of consecutive serious punches called the Omnidirectional Serious Punch, as Saitama is moving so fast that he creates after images. However, right at the final moment, Garou creates a portal and escapes. But Saitama is not playing around, ladies and gentlemen. He follows Garou through the portal with the most menacing look, and with one punch turns Cosmic Garou into a ball stuck inside a moon-sized pinball machine. Garou is being punched so hard that he has created a constellation flinging around the destroyed moon. It took Monster Garou and Platinum Sperm 13 microseconds to create a small constellation that spanned across the Monster Association, whereas Saitama has covered an entire moon with a radius of 1,821.6 kilometers almost instantly. Garou grabs his footing again, showing us that even after taking planetary level attacks, he can still hang with Saitama. He says how he just needs to focus for a second. All Saitama is doing really is showing off his insane physical strength and darting between rocks. He says how that if he can just get above the layer of debris, he should be fine. However, as he tries to portal up there, he gets his head stuck in a rock due to the fact that he has completely lost all sense of direction. Garou feels like a bug trapped inside Saitama's cage. You can literally see my guy sweating. But before he can even get his bearings straight, Saitama hits him again with a serious punch. Like, how many serious punches has he taken at this point? I'm beginning to lose count. Garou realizes that Saitama is limitless, to which he goes into Saitama mode once again to mirror his limitless strength. This is literally the first time Saitama has bled since the day he broke his limiters. And how ironic is it that it was Saitama mode being the only thing that can hurt him? What's even more ironic is the fact that the only way Garou can achieve the title of absolute evil is by copying the man who is a hero for fun. The first man who ever broke a limiter, and the reason behind it? Overwhelming passion and determination to fight monsters and save people. As we mentioned earlier, we are planning to cover how strong Saitama is in our next One Punch Man video, so be sure to hit that bell. In the meantime though, you can learn more about this mysterious god character here. Ooh, spooky god. Click it. Click it!